the Lord has made, and we rejoice and be glad in it. I hope you had a wonderful week. We spoke sometime about finances, the Christian and finances. It is very important. So, as we said, we'll be back with part 2. And now we are here with the part 2 of this discussion. Take your seat and enjoy. It is very important. We all need it. I've learned a lot from the part 1. I hope to learn more from part 2. And I hope you are going to be too. We have Dr. Na here again with us to tell us more about this topic. For those of you who have not listened to the first video, I really encourage that you go find it and listen so that this one will probably help you or make more sense. And so for that benefit, I'm going to have her introduce herself again to us so that we start the discussion from here. Thank you. So Doctor, welcome once again to TV.
Thank you. It's nice to see you again. Thank you for having me back. So previously I didn't explain that my name is Dr. Na. It's a long name, so everybody calls me Dr. Na. And it's not Dr. Na, like no, not that. N-A-A goes up, Dr. Na. Anyways, yes, I graduated from Washington State University. That's where I got my PhD in anthropology. But I also had degrees in sociology and psychology as well, and women's study. Let's just say I got greedy when I was in college, and I just decided to get everything that I could if I got out there. But more importantly, in terms of talking about this particular topic that we are talking about today, I'm a certified financial specialist. So yes, I am qualified to give you advice on these things, and I'm licensed. So if you listen to me, I promise you're not gonna go wrong.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's just dive. I know the last time we ended on the note of things we have to do to be free. So debt and investment, and I want you to tell us again, what is financial independence? What does it mean?
Previously, I did explain that financial independence is different for every person.
Yes.
Somebody may say, I want to retire my wife. That is financial independence for that person, because if they have enough money, they can say, okay, my wife, don't work anymore, you've worked hard enough. Retire their wife, that means, they are free from that. Somebody could say, I will be financially free when I don't have to work 40 hours a week. If you can survive on 20 hours a week and that's okay with you, that's financial freedom. So it's different from different people.
Yeah.
Some people might say, I will never be financially free because I want to have $1 million before I know that I'm financially free, right? The question is that, do you really need $1 million, right? What do you need $1 million to do? There are several questions that you ask yourself to figure out what financial freedom means to you personally.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's go back to the things we had to do on your computer. I know you have it on there.
Pardon me, technology. Technical difficulties. Yes. All right.
Okay. Sorry about that, viewers.
Technical difficulties. We are back to okay now. All right.
So let's.
So this is what we talked about. That first of all, if you're thinking about financial freedom or financial security, you need to think about the steps that you need to take. Okay. And yes, this model works best in the US and probably in the other parts of the world. Some areas might not have the concept of protection so much, because it's definitely an advantage that is in this economic system in America. I believe it is in most of the European countries as well. But I know that it's beginning to be part of the thinking in different parts of the world, because I know that insurance is currently present in Ghana.
Yeah.
Okay. So we talked about the steps. So first, you need to protect everything that you have. Before you can grow anything, you need to protect what you have, right? And we would, earlier on I talked about some of the ways that you can do. You protect your car, protect your body as well, so that if your body cannot work again or work anymore, you can't be replaced, but at least there will be money that will be allocated to, so that the family can continue to have a good life.
Yeah.
Debt management, you cannot use a basket to fetch water because it's not possible. It will be leaking. So you need to patch the holes, right, on the basket before you start trying to use it to fetch water. That's debt management. Emergency fund is money that you don't touch. Money that if something, you have to set a target, how much exactly do you need? And ideally, experts are saying that have about 6 times of what you spend monthly, okay? That way, if something happens to your job, you have 6 months of money saved up so you can pay your rent and pay whatever you need and then peacefully live for another one. And then finally, the most important thing is to have a way of investment,
yes.
Okay? And we talked about the fact that investment is this is talking about building your financial house in the wrong way, okay? We can see that if you start investment here and then you get sick and you can't work, you start taking the money from your investment. So the house will collapse. So if you do this, the house will collapse. Unfortunately, I think for most of us who come from the so-called developing part of the world, our thinking is this, that we want our money to grow so fast that we are in a rush to get to it. So a lot of us, as soon as we get money, we travel, we get money, we're sending it back home, build a house for me, do this for me. All those things are important, but God forbid you break your leg and you can't work. Are they going to send you the money back in CDs so that you can feed yourself over here or pay your rent and all those things, right? So let us have our house in order before we start sending money to build houses and things like that back in Africa. Trust me, I want to have a house in Africa too, it's important. But I got to make sure that I was doing it wrong before I became a specialist. I was also doing it wrong, right? And then, of course, at one point I had some job issues. What happened? Wherever I left the house is still sitting there now. So now I know to do better, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so moving on with that, I explain in details the steps that you have to do. And I think today we are coming to focus on investment. Mm-hmm. So I'll leave it here for a second. And as you can see, the most important thing is make the right choice for you. Don't say that my friend did this, so I'm also going to do that. Because maybe your friend is a single person that does not have any children. Whatever he's doing might not work for you because you are a married person with children, right? He has to only worry about himself. You have to worry about the future of your children, yes. Okay? All right, so you choose the one that is right for you. Now, of course, my specialization is more based in the US, but financial concepts are universal so that it's always applicable no matter where you are. Maybe not the specific details, but at least overall, this should give you a way to what? Think about. Yes. So these are some of the ways to save money in America. And again, it's all about, I want to go to the next slide because we talk about rates of return, right? So when you're thinking about investment, right, this is what you need to look at, right? You need to make sure that you are building wealth, but it's going to take time. That's the ingredient for building wealth. So to invest and actually see something, you need to make sure you get a rate of return plus 5. Because anything under 5, you're barely maintaining your money, okay? And I use a good example is that if you put $100 in the bank, January 2020, January 2021, I promise you when you go back to the bank, you will not get $100 because they would have subtracted some fees, right? There will be taxes that would have been taken out. Whatever is left is not equal to the $100 that you put in because you cannot use it to buy whatever you can buy the year 2020, right? That is the concept of inflation. So we need to take all these things into consideration, right? Mm-hmm. And so with that, I'm going to talk about the rule of 72, and this is all going to make sense when I go through it. It's going to help people, the members or audience. It's going to help them figure out the right place for them to put their money, okay? And also it also works for debt elimination as well, okay? So the rule of 72. I remember when I was asked this question, the rule of 72. I know a lot, I know about maybe 99.999 because too much book. But they asked rule of 72 and I'm like, what is this? But I already know my multiplication, right? It's not that. But this is a rule that's developed by Einstein. I call him Mr. Fancy Hair, but we all know that he's a genius, right? Mm-hmm. So he came up with this number that is 72. And it's amazing. This is what he says. He said, whenever you take the number 72, it does not matter what interest rate. If you plug it into an equation and then you divide that number into 72, it's going to tell you how much time it will take for your money to double. Did you get that? Let me say that again.
Yeah.
It's saying that take 72, whether it's 3% interest rate or 20% interest rate. Madam has calculator ready, so we can't do it now. So this is what it says. So it says that if you divide that into the 72, whatever number you get is time your money will take to double. Okay? Now let's look at some things. So let's say you have most bank accounts. I don't know sure about the figure in Ghana right now, but I know that in America most banks are not giving more than 0.35. Okay, so that means it's less than 1. Even if you are very bad at math, right? 0.35 is less than 1%.
Yes.
Okay. So let's say that I have $10,000, right? And I'm so lucky. I found a bank that gave me 1% interest rate. So I put my money away with them, right? They said they are giving me 1%. I said, oh, that's good, you know. How much is it going to take for me to double my money? That 10,000, right? So I take 72, I divide it into 1, right? Because 1%.
Yeah.
I get what? 72. So that means that my 10,000 that I put in the bank is going to take me 72 years before the money is going to become 20,000.
That is.
Okay, how many of us, how many 72s do we have in our lifetime? Even if you double it, you're gonna, you're gonna be 100 and what? 44.
Yes.
That's only 2 times. That's a problem, right?
Yes.
Because we cannot live on that much money in our retirement, right? So we have to figure out a better place to put our money so that it will yield better. So for example, let's look at 6% interest rate, right? Mm-hmm. If you divide 6 into 72, you get, I think it's this one, 12. Yes, it's 12, 72. So this way, the same person, let's say the same person, she's smarter than me. She did better. She got 6% interest rate, right? And when she put her 10,000 in what? 6 years, right? Because it's going to, no, I'm sorry, 6 divided into 8, right? It's what? 12.
12, yes.
So that means her money will double
in 12 years. And mine will be in 72 years.
72 years, I will have 20,000. In 12 years. So that means in 12 years, you're going to have 20,000.
Yes.
So by the time we all retire, obviously you're going to have more money than I have money because your money is doubling faster, right? So I believe that seeing this now, you will think about putting your money in the right place.
Yes.
Now you say, where can I find these places? Well, that's where I come in. Lucky for you, right? The bank don't want people like me around because we're spoiling business, right? But I will be able to help you find places to put your money. And basically, I cut out the bank and I take you directly to where the bank invests the money that you give to them, right? Now, this rule of 72 is fabulous because the same way it can help you grow your money, it has enslaved a lot of us. I don't know if there's credit cards in Ghana these days, are there?
Some African
Some
African countries.
But of course, there are credit cards in Europe and everywhere else around the world. And if we don't have it in Ghana now, it's coming, right?
I mean,
it's just convenient.
It's there, but it's not.
Yeah, it's convenient, and then you swipe and by the way, I advise that don't stop using your card because it's not painful when you're swiping, right? But when you take the cash and you're counting it and hand it over, it can be painful.
Yeah.
So you feel it more. So if you can help yourself, take out your cash. I'm not saying go and take $10,000 and walk around with it. But if you know you're going to the store and you plan to spend $20, take out $20 from the bank account before you get there. That way, when your $20 finish, you know you need to go home, right? That's a way of savings, right? All right. So the same way it can help you, the same way it can really put you in trouble. So again, we have $10,000. We don't have, so we need to borrow it from the bank, right? Now the bank gives us 1%. No, actually, because when it comes to them giving you, they give you the low amount.
Yeah,
but when they have to loan you money,
it's 90 sometimes.
Yes. So this is what it's telling you. So if they give you, let's say you have $10,000, let's even take the number 15, right? So 72 divided by 15, that means you got a credit card for $10,000 at the rate of 15%. APR. And when you divide that, this is what, so 15, number of years invested, right?
Yeah, it's 4.8.
So did I do that wrong?
No, you did. Right.
Because in this case, we are going to multiply.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, 15 by that.
So let's go okay. So the $10,000 when we invest, let's just use one. It's simple, right? Before my math get me to trouble, right? So it's gonna take 72 years for the money to double. That means if you take $10,000 at 1% interest rate, the same amount is gonna take you 72 years to pay it back. 10,000.
When you invest it, it will take you 72 years to get the same amount back. But when you borrow it,
the interest rate is higher, but also it takes so much time that you would have paid them their money over and over, right? That's why they love to loan you money, because it's to their benefit, right? Some of us, we came to America, we think we took a credit card for what, $200, and what happened? We're still paying it 20 years later. You're like, wait a minute, $200 I took, and I've finished eating that $200 a long time ago, but the credit card is still there because the interest just keep coming and coming and coming, right?
Okay.
And so this is what we're talking about. Try your best to eliminate as much as you can, and find the highest place that you can invest your money with the highest interest rate, so that your money will grow faster. Okay?
Yeah. And a secured place too.
That's the most other thing too I'm going to talk about. So exactly, don't invest with companies that just came up and everybody's investing because they are giving good interest rate and stuff like that. You want to invest with financial industries or systems that have been around for a long time, preferably at least 10, 15, 20 years, because they're not going to crash. And also make sure that you do your homework to make sure that they are also what? Secured. That means they are insured as well. Okay.
Okay. So let me come into technicalities here. So you're talking about making money, investing money. Let me talk about an ideal family. I'm in this country, around the world, where I make peanuts. I work hard from 8 to 4:30, but I make peanuts. I have my family, my wife sitting at home, or even if she's working, she's doing something very minimal. I have kids in school. How am I able to be ever independent? Is it possible? I mean, is it possible?
It's almost possible. Remember the formula we talked about? You need only small money to start growing. A lot of people make the mistake thinking that, I need to have $10,000 to invest. No, you have to start somewhere, to get to that level. So even if it is $5 that you can cut out of your,
this is why the money is not even enough.
The options are that, unfortunately, you're gonna have to get diverse sources of income. The world is getting to such a place that it's difficult to do housewife these days, because you cannot call yourself a housewife when your husband doesn't make enough money. You are looking good and sitting home and hungry. That doesn't work. Ladies, you're gonna have to get out there and be a support to your husbands, right? And men, I'm not saying you should stop working and let the wives come and work, but they will help you. You're supposed to be there, and they're your helper, right? But that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you have to sacrifice, right? Your time of work. You talk about you finish work at 4:30. Maybe by the time you get home, it's like 6 o'clock. You may be tired, but there are other sources of earning income. You might take a part-time job, 2 hours a night, right? Maybe get 8 hours, in for the whole week. That's a way to start getting small money, which you don't have now. So once you start getting that money, make sure that you put that money to investment, because that's money that you didn't have before. So
but that's going to be in America, where you can find these part-time jobs and small hours. But some
other places of the world, you can start your own business. Because that helps. That in Africa, that's the thing. I mean, my mom came to America and she's just perplexed that you don't see small, people, small shops where people are selling things. She said, how do people take care of themselves? And she thinks that she has the solution to America's problem, because she thinks they should just let the women start selling small things. They will be able to take care of themselves. So investment, another way of investing, if you don't live in a society that has the sophisticated financial institutions, you can start by trading something small. If it is gonna be peanuts that you buy,
you sell.
You sell it, or bananas, whatever you can do, right, in front of your house, and that, just discipline yourself that once that money starts coming. You don't just add it to your regular income and you'll be at the same spot where you started.
Yes.
So tell yourself that this money is not my money, because you didn't have it before. So whenever you have that part-time job or when you start that trading, that is not your money. That is family money. So what you do is that any profit that comes out of it, for a market woman, it makes more sense to what? Reinvest in it, right? Into, just keep, buying and selling. And when you get to a point where you feel like, okay, I can take some money away from this business and it can still remain, standing, then you take it and you find a good, interest rate, and then you go and invest it so that that money, is safe and is secure. Because let's face it, markets, the market changes, yes, supply and demand. So if you keep all your money investing and maybe you went and buy a bad batch of bananas, you are in trouble, right? So once you have enough money, try to, scale back and then put your money in a secure and safe place.
Okay. So was this a lot of information to digest? So we'll take a quick break so you can think through it and we'll come back with more. Please don't go away, stay with us, okay? See you in a little bit.
Grace and peace to you, my friends. I am Richard D. Johnson, a THM student at the Columbia Theological Seminary in Decatur, Georgia, USA. This is EMIF TV, a very strong television program for Christians all around the world. There are two guiding principles, two emerging truths that guide this particular television program. They are to plant the seed of hope in the lives of the hopeless and to encourage Christians to live independently in Christ. I am thrilled by the second guiding principle, to encourage Christians to live independently in Christ. In this 21st century, it is very significant that every Christian will have an understanding of God on how to be able to live not just a successful life, but a faithful life in God. So therefore, my friends who are out there, if you want to be able to live a successful but faithful life in Christ, I invite you to EMIF TV. Come, because there will be hope for the hopeless. Amen.
Hello. This is EMIF TV. Really, we are touching lives. What is your problem? What is it that you are going through? We want to assure you that there is still hope. That is why I encourage you to watch EMIF TV this and every Saturday and on Wednesdays, and your life will never be the same. EMIF TV, touching lives where necessary. God bless you.
Welcome back, viewers, with more information on financial independence with Dr. Nan. I hope you enjoyed the first part. This is more to it. There's a lot more, but we will do it one at a time, a little bit, and we will all get independent eventually. I hope and pray so. So, Dr. Nan, let's continue from where you stopped. Retirement and concerns.
Yes. So basically, with the first question,
when can I retire?
We all need to ask ourselves that question. And sometimes people will say, well, I'm retiring when I'm 40. Who said so? The money says so. If you can only retire when you have enough money in your account to take care of yourself, right? The question is that how much money do I really need? Most of us, right? And let me just talk in terms of global real quick. For most immigrants, they think I will just go home and live there, right? Because the cost of living is cheaper. Don't forget that whilst you've been away, things are also changing, right? Prices have also changed. So if you take your money and you think, oh, it's going to be so much money when I'm there, I will live like a rich person, reconsider yourself. Because what if you're going to live another 40 years, right? Would you have enough money to take care of yourself and all those things? But the point of the matter is that let's address some of the issues that a lot of us immigrants are having to deal with, right? The reason why you see our people over here and working into their 70s and you say, oh, you need to rest. Even when they retire, they'll go and take part-time job or something like that. Because we have people, and it's not only us Africans who have this problem. Every immigrant, I'm sure, they have the same problem where America is portrayed as the land of what? Money trees.
And opportunities.
opportunities. So everybody thinks that there's money on the trees to be grabbed and there's money flowing everywhere. Me, I'm still looking for the money tree. I have not seen it. If somebody sees it, please call me and show me where it is. Because the reason I need to pluck some, you know. But we have a lot of people. We have basically, there's a lot of responsibility that, you know, is placed on us when we are able to have the opportunity to travel outside of, you know, our homes, right? And people think that, you know, we have so much money and the calls do not stop. First of all, if you are in Ghana, if you are somewhere, you're a relative of an immigrant, please stop it. Please stop it, please. Don't call us whenever somebody dies. You too, you are there, do something. Don't call us when your auntie, your best friend, everything you are calling us. People are not telling the truth about what's going on in America. Yes, there are opportunities, right? But they are limited, you know. I can't work 24 hours a day. I still have to leave a little bit of time to sleep. Don't forget that we're here, we also have children that we have to take care of, right? And so we want to help, right? I mean, we love, it feels good to give, right? But these are, me, everybody in my family knows. If you call me and you tell me there's a funeral, so you want to go buy a cloth for that particular funeral, I'm not even going to pick up my phone the next time. Don't do things like that. You know, we need to change. I mean, you're going to go buy a cloth that you're going to use for one person's funeral. Then next time when somebody else dies, and the death is not stopping, so next time another funeral, what are we doing? Right? Let us not live in the moment. Yes, it's true that God will provide and God will take care of us. But then we forget that God gave us man, woman, wisdom, right? So things that we are doing and it's not good for us, we need to cut down, right? And you were saying that, what about the guilt? Like when people call you for things and you cannot, you know, give it to them, you have some type of a guilty feeling about it?
I mean, it's normal because when you get the opportunity to travel in the family, you are in a better position to help. And so obviously you know from our culture and most of people around the world, you're supposed to help the ones back there. So when they call, every time you say, I don't have. And you know, for me, living is giving yourself away to help people. So how are you able to deal with that way?
It's not easy. I mean, whenever somebody asks you something and you can't give them, it's not a good feeling. But in my personal life, I try to practice the concept of teaching people how to fish rather than me always giving them the fish, because I'm not even helping them grow. So I mean, my mom is a market woman. She owned a business when I was growing up. So I'm a firm believer in investments. You know, thankfully, especially my home and, you know, I don't know, other places in the world, small businesses have opportunities. It's not like here where small businesses are done because of giant corporations like Walmart and other big corporations. Small businesses are still thriving back home. So, you know, when somebody keep calling you to ask you for money, you say, hey, I'm going to give you this money, but you're going to have to try to find something to invest in. Do something with it so that you don't have to keep what. I also advocate for vocational trainings. One thing I'm going to speak on, I'm not sure about other countries or other continents, but I know that in Africa, we have this idea that for a person to be better off or to make it, they have to have higher education. Please do not call the show and complain that I'm telling people that education is not good. I love education, I love learning, I'm still learning. In fact, you should not stop learning until you drop dead. Otherwise, you will not be a wise person. Learning is good, but learning is not only in the classroom. So if you know, I mean, let's be honest. Sometimes, you know, when you have children, you look at them. Sometimes somebody doesn't even want to go to school. It's not their thing. They get test 0. No matter what if they ask them their name, they can't even spell their own name. You need to study your children. Find out what talents that they have. That's why they say maybe African children might be slow. They are not slow. The problem is that we African parents, we keep what? Pushing the children to where they don't have interest. They don't have interest. You know, when you have an interest in something, you love it. You're happy to do it. So if you see that your kid is really interested in maybe a car or something like that, maybe they want to be a mechanic, and there's nothing wrong with it, because, you know, so far as he's doing something that he has the interest, that will help him what? Go as high as possible. But if he's not doing something that he likes and every day, it's a drag for him to just get himself up and going, you have not done a good job for that child. Because going to work and when you hate your work is a very, very sad life, I think. It's a very, very sad life. So let us try to not only put success in terms of education and that kind of stuff. Literacy is completely different from education, and I think that is what most of us get confused. Literacy means that learning the languages, different languages that you're going to have to communicating, learning how to read so you can get knowledge for your own self, right? That is literacy. Educating somebody to become a doctor, that is another type of vocational skill, because you are going through school. Instead of maybe going through apprenticeship, you are going through school to become a doctor, right? Mm-hmm. The same thing if somebody is learning tailoring, right? They are going through training so that they can become what? Exactly. Yeah. So let us look at education in a different view, that everybody does not have to go to the same level of education to become somebody. A lot of people in their 20s are very creative, and we're seeing that in America, right? If some of these young millionaires are only in their 20s and things of the sort. So as Africans, we need to start allowing our kids to show us their God-given talent. Because once we see those things, then we can support them. They will all, they will have to learn to read. So yeah, you go to school, learn how to read and those things. But when you get to a point, it's time. Let them train whatever skill they need to, because they can do well in life without, maybe being a doctor or an engineer, or everybody is doing nursing. We need other professions in Africa. We need other things, not just nurses and doctors and lawyers and all those things,
And I think this will help reduce our poverty situation, because if everybody is staying at home waiting to go to medical school or nursing, and we all go to nursing school, everybody is a nurse. The government cannot employ all nurses because the hospitals are not enough. Then these people have gone to school but they are unemployed, staying home. And the most painful thing, I think, for parents is for you to spend all the money you have to put your kids through school, and they come back and stay at home.
And it's in America, I don't know what's happening back home, but in America they are saying that this is the first generation of children who leave home at 18
and come
only to return about 22 or 24 because they graduated. The money that they are getting for the type of job that they are getting is not enough to cover the new car they have, it's not covering their rent. So they are like, wait a minute, this thing is harder than I thought. So they go back and stay with their parents.
And it's very painful for a parent to go through that. So I think vocational skills and something to put everybody to work, so that we are not dependent on the other. It makes the whole, somebody is stressed and somebody is relaxed. It's just a little different. So
and psychologists have shown that stress is real. Before I came to America, I remember when I first came to America, everything stress. I said, what is this people talking about? I don't know stress. So I tried to think about it in my language, right? But I realized that the closest thing was the word worried. But stress is not really worried, because worried is something that is there that you need to,
figure out.
But stress is just some tension that's sitting on the back of your neck because you're always running from one thing to the next. Now, if you come, I'll be talking about stress. Somebody will say you have become Americanized. It's not that too. It's just that the pressure, and it's not good for our health. That's why a lot of people are dealing with high blood pressure. African men, they are dying. High blood pressure is a real thing. Lack of sleep, because Kofi is going to call you for school fees. So now, instead of getting some 6 hours of sleep, you go and do what? And I'm not contradicting myself, because I'm talking about making enough money to survive and help those around us. But everything in life is balance, right? Balance, balance, balance. You gotta take care of yourself as a human being, health-wise, whatever you're eating. I believe in holistic. That's the most important word for me right now in this life. Because I believe that you can be spiritually, you need to be okay in life. You need to be spiritually balanced, you need to be financially balanced. All aspects of your life should be able to be balanced. Because whenever you are okay in one area and you are not okay in another, if spiritually you go to church, you are doing okay, but then you don't have enough money, it may cause you to do things that will be against God.
Yes,
right?
of course.
So let's try to balance all the different areas of our life, right? That way we can live a more of a godly life.
Thank you very much. I think we've had enough information. I know there's more. There's more. If we want to go, we will keep going and going and going. But I think this for a start is going to help us pull ourselves from such situation. I want you to talk on spending. Spending, and I mean, because sometimes we do excesses. We buy stuff like this, call it designer stuff, to look different, like a bag. Somebody can buy something for $2,000 that some people don't even know what it is. So when you try to show it, I don't know the designer, so I probably don't know what you're showing me.
My dear, let's not forget to mention that sometimes they don't even know how to pronounce it. Gucci or whatever it is. So I always tell people this: if I'm holding two shoes, right, and then I put one behind my back and I put a logo on it, and then I bring it back and I tell you, this one is 200, this one is 20. I'll say, oh, Abodam, are you crazy? It's the same shoe, right? Why do we allow ourselves to be fooled like that? Because somebody will have to come and take your clothes to look at the back to see the brand, right? If you don't tell anybody, nobody knows, right? And you and the other person wearing, you know, the $20 one and you wearing $200, there might not be a difference, right? So let's stop overspending. And what is the best way to do this? You need to differentiate between need and want. Need is something that you need to what? Survive. Want is I want. I mean, we all have a lot of wants. Yes. And one thing I want to say is that let us start training our children too, because they learn to follow our footsteps. They learn their relationship with money from experience. I learned my relationship with money from my mother because she's a market woman. And I never was broke until I came to America. Everybody listening to me, listen. America was the first place I started going back into my corners of my room and collecting pennies. Because growing up with my mother, because she's a businesswoman, there's always money all over the place. Because she, you know, people bring things, she'll sell, then she'll give them back the money. There's money all over the place. As a young child, I was all over money. I had no respect for money. America was the first place I was to a point where I had zero. I was looking for pennies in my own room just to eat. But it happened to me. Why? Because I never really had respect for money. I'm not saying we should respect money. But money is something that when you don't have, it's a problem.
It is.
It's a big problem. So let's teach our children. Differentiate between what? Want and need. Right? And you'll be surprised when you teach your kids, they will start checking you. Because I taught my daughter the difference. Now when I go to the store and I pick something, Mommy, do you really need that? No, I guess not. Then I put it back. Right? The same with her. You know, she touches something, she's like, I don't really need this, do I? Okay, she puts it back. So let's start with the young kids so that they will have a healthy relationship with money, right?
Yes.
And differentiate. If you don't need it if you don't take it home and you will not die, please leave it there, right? But if you take it home and if you don't take it home, it's going to cause you to die or something, then please take it home. So that's how I do it.
That's the whole thing. If you don't need it, stop by it.
And my people, let's stop building houses in our stomach. The whole idea of having 10 types of fishes or meat or whatever in the soup is unnecessary. In fact, we know in America, we don't even get enough exercise, right? Yeah. So it's rather killing us because we eat all that stuff, we are cold, then the food is freezing in our stomach, we are dying. Please, one fish, minimum, it's okay.
Okay. Thank you, it's good, it's good. So, I really want to touch on this, too much spending. It's not good. It's not important. Like she said, you don't know what will happen tomorrow. Maybe today you have the energy to go, but tomorrow you might not have it. Try and have an emergency plan, an emergency fund, where in case of emergency, you won't go crying. You know, for us who have traveled, you can't go borrow money from anybody because everybody is in their own crisis. They will listen to your story, but they cannot help you. They'll feel pity for you, but you will be homeless. Because I can't afford my bills and yours. And I don't blame people because it's the truth. We've all lived it. It is not easy to afford two people's bill. Even bringing one person on, it's not easy. So please, 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 when we have money, let us remember that as a Christian, it is our duty to use our money properly, because we're going to account for everything that came through our hands. This is why I want to leave us today. I want you to go home and think about this. Wherever you are watching us from, remember, whatever comes through our hands, we're going to account for it. And money is part of it too. And it has destroyed people. In as much as we need it, it has destroyed people. Be wise about it, and God is going to bless you. So I want to thank you again. This is very important.
I have a very big mouth, so when you were talking about that, I just realized that we should talk about the fact that there are ways that when you can't work, there are things that you can do so that you can continue to have an income that also falls under protection and insurance. So if you want to know more about what can I do when something happens to me and I cannot work, there are insurances that you can buy to protect yourself, and you will get your income when something happens to you and you can't work. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Thank you so
thank
much.
you. And I was going to use the opportunity to say, once again, this is Dr. Nash. She is a certified financial advisor. If you need any information whatsoever, we're going to have her number right down beneath. Look down, and her number, her name, her contact information is right there. Contact her. She's going to help you. No matter how bad the situation is, there's always a way around it. And it's better you tackle it now than later. It's going to get worse. So tackle it now before you can do anything about it. So she is always available and ready to help everybody who contacts her from any part of the world. She's going to help you. So her name and number is right, and then take a note, write it down. If you don't need it, pass it on to somebody else who might need it. I also want to appreciate my husband, Mr. Evans Barminta, who is behind the camera making this happen. He's the idea behind this whole thing. And then Pastor Richard Johnson, he's been with us throughout. He's our general manager, making sure everything is being done properly. And everybody who helped in any way with MFTV to make it a success, we appreciate you. And once again, this is MFTV, and we are touching lives where necessary. So see you, have a good week, and we will see you same time next week. Bye-bye.